Hey folks, I'm coming here to you today, sitting in my living room. It's September 1st, 2016. I've been trying to figure out what would I say to my fellow citizens of this great country that we call home, the United States of America. In these times where we have so many decisions and so much controversy going on in our country, just so many unanswered questions on the direction we're going and some of the things that is going on. I'm not real good at making speeches or making videos, but I'm pretty good at speaking from my heart. Some of the noises you might be hearing in the background is I got 4 dogs in the house, and I got a little window air conditioner. I live out in the middle of the country, in the middle of nowhere. So you may hear dogs barking and phones ringing, but that's just the way my life is. I kind of wrote down some notes, so if you see me looking down, it's just because I'm getting old and I have a hard time keeping on track. And I want this to be a positive message as much as possible, because we really got a lot of things that are facing our nation that is important to each of us, that we unite together as citizens of this great country and try to make the right decisions to protect our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. Sometimes it's just plain overwhelming. There's just no doubt. There's just so much to process with everything that's going on. There's so much political, controversial issues that's in our face as a nation. And, you try to sort it out and make as much of it clear as possible. I spent a lot of time here since all this mess started, just trying to research on my own, not depend on too much media, too much news, and come to my own conclusions on which direction this country's going. And it's troubling. I'm 56 years old, and I've got a lot of health problems, and probably my time here on this earth is a lot shorter than what I'd like it to be. I count every day as a blessing that I get to spend with my children and my grandchildren. I hope to live long enough to see my great-grandchildren. So, we get a lot of information through our daily news from the mainstream news, the internet, independent news, social media, radio, blogs, and then, you have people posting stuff like me that just give their opinion on how they feel so they can vent, and I get that, because the things we're facing is of great anxiety. It causes me to lose a lot of sleep at night. I toss and turn and wake up in fear of what type of world that we might be leaving our children and our grandchildren. So I guess, I'm going to call it like I see it, and I hope not to offend anybody. I'm old Southern boy, and my mama raised me. If you don't got something good to say, it's best sometimes not to say it. But I don't see any way out of saying something that just, I don't see any way out of having some negative thoughts in this. So I ask you to forgive me if anybody finds this offensive. I'm just trying to tell it the way I've seen it, the way I've researched it. Currently, through all the media, the research, we have pretty much open access, Freedom of Information Act. We have so much access to information that we can access on our own. Our present government administration is trying to move our nation into a global society. and that's in every sector of our lives, that is really apparent by their present and past policies. You know, and that's policies on trade, immigration, jobs, education, health, our Bill of Rights, and our Constitution. You know, this just didn't start yesterday. It's really been developing for many years. And, you know, it's been discussed forever. I mean, it was discussed back when our forefathers started the country. You know, there's been so many societies that tried this unification, globalization throughout time and history, and it's never worked. And I guess that's because we're all human and we suffer from a lot of flaws. And one of the major flaws, I guess, is greed. And it's just, that's part of being human, I suppose. We're flawed, you know. As much as we would like to say, Lord, we could take care, everybody take care of everybody, it's never worked. It's never worked. And, you know, if you look at where it is being tried within the world today, in Europe and in other countries, they're falling apart. I mean, they are literally just falling apart. And now we're trying to move into this sector of one world government, one world economy. You know, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. You know, folks, it is really going to, excuse me, you know, this is really serious. You know, the thing is because of how we can access the world today right into our own homes, we can see this happening right before our eyes. I mean, right before our eyes. If the government is successful in this quest to conform our nation, the very freedom that my dad fought for, my grandpa fought for, most of y'all's parents fought for, some of y'all's children, my children, are fighting and dying for, and have died to preserve, will be gone forever, folks. It'll be gone forever. This election will determine the fate of our children's for generations to come. So please vote, and vote for what you know is right. Our right to live free in a free country. Since the beginning of this presidential election, the campaign, I've been trying to wrap my brain around how Hillary Clinton is even in the running, folks. I mean, how did she become a candidate for the primaries and then the nominee? This person is one of the most controversial political figures, plagued by corruption, scandals, links to crimes, corruptions, the list. I could spend the next 2 hours talking about this woman's deception. I can't figure out how President Obama, how the DNC, how they even allowed her to put her name in the pot. And, you know, I have beat my head sideways on this, and, you know, I've asked myself, why? Why would our government put somebody that the American people know for a fact has twisted the values of our country right before our eyes? Even when in the White House, when she was in Arkansas, she did so much damage to the people in Arkansas. I was born in Arkansas. When the Clintons was there, I was popping in and out, but my family roots are there. Everybody in that state knew what they did in that state. They covered it up And it didn't come out till they were already in Washington. They get to Washington, they have been scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal. They've never been prosecuted because they distance themselves from whatever they're doing, or it falls on people below them. And if people start turning on them, they seem to evaporate off this earth, folks. Look, man, I don't like saying bad stuff about anybody. I don't. The only reason I can come up with that these folk, that the government, the president administration, the DNC, the Democrats, have put this out in front of us is, folks, this is a test to us. Really, this is a test. If we allow her to be elected, it shows the government that we don't care. They can do whatever they want. They can do whatever they want to our lives. They can change our lives any way they want. They can make all the executive decisions they want, pass all the lives they want, and all the laws they want, and not answer to us at all, because we've allowed them to put somebody in office that we know is a compulsive liar. Folks, a compulsive liar. She can't tell the truth. She's never been able to tell the truth her entire life. I mean, her entire life. Look at her history. Look at her history. Talk to people that knew her as a child. Talk to people that knew her when she was in school. Go to Arkansas. Talk to the people in Arkansas. Just the people that was around during their time. Go to Washington. Talk to the people that was with them on a daily basis. Talk to the people that worked with her in the State Department. Talk to the people that worked with her as Secretary of Defense. Talk to the people that she worked side by side in our government with. Folks, why would they put her even on the ballot? They're testing our morals, folks. They're seeing if we are one as a people, one as a nation, that if we will stand up and say enough is enough. You are government by the people, for the people. That is how you was formed. We pay you to take care of us. We don't pay you to jeopardize our lives and freedom. Folks, she doesn't have the capability to tell the truth. It's just not in her. She's just been given the nomination to test our strength as a nation, to stand up against what we know in our heart is wrong. If she's voted in, folks, we lose everything. Our nation has always stood. We lose everything that we've always stood for. We'll never be able to stop the globalization of our nation. And I know the risks involved on taking a chance with Donald Trump. I mean, I know those risks are high. I know they're high. But it's worth the risk, folks, to preserve our way of life. At least there's an option with Mr. Trump. In 4 years, if he don't deliver, we can vote him out and vote in somebody else and give somebody else a try. I pray to God that he does what he says he's going to do and protects my children and my grandchildren and gives them the life that I grew up having. This is serious stuff, man. This is really serious. If we don't elect Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton gets put in office, this is our last election, folks. We'll just be like Brazil, man. We'll go vote, but the vote won't count, man. They'll just be putting who they want in office. They've done it for years. Man, they've done it for years. They have done it for years. I'm not a conspiracist, but they have literally held the blanket over us for so long and kept us in the dark about the way our country's been run and their goals on how to to take our freedoms that our families have fought and died for. So I'm asking you, I'm pleading with you, do your own research. Do your own research. Search your own hearts. Our children, our grandchildren, our children, our grandchildren are at risk. Man, my life could have been better, but it couldn't have been any better than it's been living in this great country. I'd like to know that my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren and my great-great-grandchildren will have the same freedoms that I've been able to have in my life. These are serious times of crisis. Look, man, every time we've had this type of crisis in our nation, for as long as this nation has existed, as a people, we've always pulled together. And we've made the decisions together, the right decisions. We can't allow our own government to separate the people. All we have is each other. Folks, that's all we got. Look, we've got to pull together. We've got to pull together. We've got to make a stand. We have got to protect our right for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Again, I'm pleading with you. Make a decision from your heart. Research. Do what you know is right. We can't allow somebody to tell us who's going to be president of the United States. And folks, I'm telling you, that's what's happening right before our eyes. They are putting her there. If we elect her, that means we don't care what they do. We don't care. We don't care. Look up. You know, can't really see around too much, but I'm kind of a poet and musician, so I kind of wrote a few little words that I hope before I close this thing out. It took a little bit longer than I wanted. You know, but I knew that I wouldn't be able to hold it together. You know, I'm coming to you with my heart open. And, you know, I'm a Christian, so I'm before God. And I'm telling you, as I see it, and this is really, 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 really serious stuff. We are the United States of America. We are good people. We pull together, we help each other. We always have. We always will, as long as we stay a free nation, and a nation that is run by the people, and a government that's for the people. Anyway, these are the words that I came up with. Here we are standing at those crossroads that we have seen so many times before. Thinking about our journey, all the wrong and right turns, and how many times through open and closed doors. And through the many years, and how we cried so many tears, facing down so many fears, just to find ourselves standing again right here. Knowing we must stand united and make sure together we send a message that is loud and clear. That all we want is for our grandchildren's grandkids to live their lives free to be able to raise and teach their children how important it is to have each other and the value of family. To be able to reach their dreams, succeed in life, and live in harmony. And know each day they walk in the world we left them, that they are able to walk in peace. Folks, God bless each and every one of you and your families. God bless America, this great country that we live in. And folks, I ask God to touch each of our hearts so we make the decision together to stay who we are, what we are, and stay true to the values that men and women have fought and died for. You know, folks, it's serious business. But as always, when we're faced with a serious challenge in this country, we unite and we conquer. God bless each of you. I don't know if this thing will go out on the internet or not. I've never done this. So, we'll see. Thank you for listening to an old man.